Welcome back, everyone. Today I have the founder and CEO of the Reaper.io with us, and he is actually the chair of the BLOC, or BLOC Oversight, as we're calling it. And so without further ado, we're just going to kind of jump in here as we're interviewing the different founders of the BLOC Oversight. I keep calling it the BLOC. It's BLOC Oversight. And how you doing today, Patrick?
Doing good, JT. Good to see you again.
Appreciate it. So I'm kind of going through the same standard questions with everyone, and so people can get introduced to the founders. What are Why are you a founder of Block Oversight?
JT, it was kind of my original pitch to the community that I thought this was something we really needed out there in the not only XRP ledger but cryptocurrency space. And instead of being reactionary to things like the SEC lawsuits or trying to avoid regulatory pressures that are out there in the market, part of my background is MBA from Syracuse. And that comes along with anticipating those forces that are going to come in and interrupt our business in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that I think we needed to be proactive about in giving self-regulation and doing our best to provide users, customers, shareholders with what they deserve as a market so
Mm-hmm.
that we can create transparency and trust for the market. And really, trust is the foundation of all currencies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the and in some corners, blockchain still has that stigma attached to it. Oh, it's used for all illicit activity, when really that's like a very minor fraction of like what blockchain out currencies and technologies are used for. So in terms of bad actors using them, not good ones, of course. And there's obviously well, I guess we're getting to that in a second. I'm kind of flying off with all the things in my head. But what problems, I guess, are you hoping to solve with the block? You've already touched on it a little bit in terms of like trying to get ahead, but what other near-term problems are you seeing and trying to address with the block as soon as it gets launched here?
So I look at it from three different angles. So one is the customers who deserve a certain amount of trust and transparency from the developer teams.
Mm-hmm.
The second is the outside forces and regulators. And then the third is really the home of the block, which is the developer teams and the crypto ecosystem, which includes things like the specific personalities who are, for simplicity's sake, I'll say influencers, or the exchanges,
Mm-hmm.
or audit services, and the basically the employees or the workers inside this system that make everything happen and make everything work. And that's what the block is really about, is targeting that group to satisfy both of the other two.
Gotcha. So you're also the chair of Block Oversight, and I know that the logo has some great symbolism to it. So I was hoping you could elaborate a little bit on the logo and kind of what it means.
Sure. So the logo with the scales, which I know most people know as the scales of justice, actually it predates the Greek meaning by quite a bit, by about 4,000 years, and it goes back to the Egyptian process of weighing the heart against a feather when they would do the embalming ceremony, or the mummification ceremony. So they would extract the heart and they'd weigh it against the feather of goddess Mot. And by weighing it, it was supposed to be the measure of order, truth, and what is right. And then it would go on to either decide if they went to the underworld, or if they went on to a good afterlife. And that was preceded over by Osiris and the goddess Ta, which was the god of knowledge. So that's kind of the idea behind the block, is that it's a means of weighing basically our hearts against what is right.
Gotcha. And so I guess it's also where any project that joins the block has to get analyzed and is essentially weighed before it joins, right? That's why the stamp or the approval means something, is that it's
Exactly.
been weighed. Okay,
That means that their heart is lighter than a feather.
gotcha. Or at least by the block standards of the Bill of Rights or whatever we create, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. Well, moving on. I know that along with the what we want the or block oversight to prevent, there's also some things we're trying to encourage as well. You know, the things that will, uh, and just going off of the things that you're hoping to build. Like you want, I remember you talking about sharing best practices and being there for other projects. So, can you share a little bit about like what the benefits would be for someone who is joining the block and and again, it's not just for XRPL projects, right? Even though a lot of XRPL projects is kind of where this is starting and coming together, right?
Sure. So a block member is going to have the benefit of experience. And if we're being realistic, all of cryptocurrency is very new, even at 12 to 13 years. It's very new to the business space, and it's very um, fluid as an environment goes. So the benefit of experience of all block members combined in a more open forum is essentially instead of one team of just a few developers trying to stand up a cryptocurrency, they're going to have a team of 20 to 30 other projects that are able to give insight, give experience with different exchanges, with different good actors, with different bad actors, lessons learned and what worked and what didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really going to have that wealth of experience to bounce ideas off of to ensure that they're doing the best thing they can moving forward with their business.
Gotcha. Well, that's great. Um, is there like why would you encourage projects to join the block? Like it's a little bit of what they'll get out of it, but why besides the benefits of that experience, why should they join?
So it's a mark of legitimacy. If you're volunteering to be a part of the block, you are committing yourself to a higher ideal than yourself as a project. You are saying that you will grant the rights of consumers, of shareholders. And we've laid out a set of basically a bill of rights for the block, which is the rights that we are granting to all shareholders that are not necessarily given by us, but that we are saying we will do our best to abide by and do our best to provide for shareholders these promises made by us.
Gotcha. Um, well, that's excellent. Is there anything that as we come and we're trying to bring transparency to block oversight and to the crypto space in general? Anyone who's joining, there's a lot of sleuths out there on the blockchain. They're always looking for those things. Any hint of impropriety, especially in the XRP community, we're really, really good about sniffing that kind of stuff out. So, what if people were to look into the Reaper? What would they find that you would like to go ahead and address and kind of get out there to the community, just in transparency on the block?
Sure. So the Reaper, when we started, like most good projects out there, this was our first project. We hadn't done 10 to 20 other projects, so we were a little bit naive when we started, and we helped some other people fund their wallets starting out. So that would reflect on the XRP blockchain that I know quite a few of us helped other members of the community get started who really had no idea what crypto was, even for some of them. So we
Mm-hmm.
let them cash out us a little bit of uh, whatever it cost for the 12 XRP to send to their XM so that they could set up. And of course, then that ties into us. So we're
Mm-hmm.
not unaware that there's a human factor and there's a learning curve that goes with this. So when we started, we unfortunately tied a lot of wallets to us that aren't actually ours at all.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, so that was one unfortunate lesson we had early on that the community has seen and has addressed, and we do have some perhaps risque policies when it comes to how free market and libertarian we really are in our thinking, which is that if a customer could do it and is able to buy, sell, trade, then I have allowed one member of my team to buy, sell, and trade with from his personal wallet, and that is not part of any funds he was delivered from Reaper. But of course, that can look bad from an outside perspective.
Gotcha. And I know your token has a specific particular quality to it that if anyone is looking into it and doesn't know what Reaper does, may look kind of suspicious as well. So you want to explain that real quick?
Yeah, so the Reaper is not black hole. We do not have a fixed supply. And by inflating our supply by 1%, never more than every month, what we do is we sell that onto market. And the funds from that sale go towards buying and destroying the currencies that are voted on by our users. So we purchase and destroy other cryptocurrencies, which is really for the good and the health of that other project. So we only target reputable and decent projects that pass our criterion and our auditing. But it's a little bit intimidating to some people when they first approach it and they don't know what that is.
Yep. And if anyone's looking for videos on how those reapings go, you can, of course, look over to JTXRP, my channel, and I've done some retrospectives on the reapings, looking at what happens during the reapings and kind of doing a play-by-play so you have a breakdown of it. But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say to the community or any vision for the future of your own token or the block?
Well, so I'd like to stick mainly to the block with this interview, and I'll just say that the block is definitely needed, and there is a place for it, and there'll be many different committees and PACs and things that rise up in the next couple of years that try to stake their claim to shaping what this space should be. And all I can say is that the block is going to do their best to shape that around what is right and what is proper for the end user, for the community, and still best for legal purposes and equality, equity for all people. So the block is here altruistically. This is not a for-profit. There is no block token. So we are just here to address things and to make the space better.
Gotcha. And of course, you can check out all the links in the description for if you want to go check out the website, or I know that, and also I guess special announcement. It's said on another couple videos as well. I just want to make sure one of the things that's really cool is we have John Deaton on the team, right?
So John Deaton has expressed his interest, and I've spoken to him directly in an interview that you can find on the Reaper's YouTube,
Okay.
in which we talked about this organization and what we're forming, and he said that he is interested in being a part.
Awesome. Well, obviously, by the time this video releases, you guys will probably already know more one way or the other on that. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, and stick around for more block oversight content. And if you have any questions, make sure to hit us up on the Twitter page. It's probably going to be the best, but we always love comments below, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we can as well. But yep, I'm JTXRP. This is Patrick with the Reaper.io, and we're out.